All right, hang on to your seats. We got a first-time hunter here that took the Aero Precision Solus on a hunt. You're going to want to listen to what Matt Griffin says right here.
Hey, I'm KJ, dedicated lifelong hunter here. If you got an interest in all things hunting, you're in the right spot. Whether chasing quail across the plains of Oklahoma or in pursuit of elk in the backcountry of British Columbia, you'll always find me on the hunt.
Welcome in, Gun Talk Hunters. I'm your host, KJ, and man, we're going to be all over the map today. I hope you're ready to hold on because our next guest, man, he is infamous around the Gun Talk offices because he has blown up a GoPro camera with a gun. When you say don't shoot the camera, this guy's going to shoot the camera, and he has it. I mounted it up for him for his wall. So, Matt Griffin from Aero Precision, welcome in, man.
Hey, man, thanks for having me.
So you got to tell the story. We can't tee it up and not tell the story. But I do want to say this. I want to say it. There is a disclaimer that goes along with this. Matt is a shooter. This was not his fault. But it was his fault because he was the one that happened to be holding the gun.
Yeah.
All right. Give him the story.
All right. So long day of filming. I don't even know where we were. Was that in Alabama?
That was in Mississippi.
Mississippi. I feel like we were all over the place right there.
Yeah.
But long day of shooting. Someone brought out a fancy new optic for a Glock or something, and Tactical Timmy at the range took it, and little did we know, I guess he started racking this. What even was that thing? Was it
I want to say no. It was the loophole. It was the new. It was the loophole. Delta Point Micro.
Yeah, the tiny little one.
Yeah.
So this guy's racking this micro red dot. It's like micro red dot on a table. Didn't tell anyone, then hands it to me and goes, "You need to try this thing. It's so cool."
Yeah.
So I walk down range with it and I start shooting and I'm hitting the target. Then all of a sudden the red dot's all over the place. And I'm like, what is happening with this thing? And KJ goes, "Whatever you do, don't shoot the GoPro." And I go, "I don't know. I think I got it." Boom. And I
happened to be looking at the GoPro at the moment of impact, and I was like, oh my gosh, he just blew the GoPro up.
Yeah. So it turns out the optic had come loose from the guy racking it, didn't know.
And this was the guy who owns the range, who were like, hey, we'll do him a solid. We'll give him a sneak peek because he had asked about it. He was like, oh, what's that? And I'm like, oh, yeah, you just go over, shoot it in the next bay. And we didn't know he was over there just like practically doing a grunt style torture test on this optic. We thought he was just going to go down, have some fun with it. But no, it comes back and it shoots loose within the first 5 shots.
Yeah.
But yeah. We go down and we start picking up pieces. We had a good laugh, but the GoPro was absolutely destroyed.
Well, I think the best part about that whole thing was that I shot through the SD card, which I don't think that I could shoot through one of those micro SD cards if I tried.
No, we could put that thing right on a target, and there's no way either of us would hit that thing. No way. Yeah, he shot right through it. I mean, perfectly center punched everything that was crucial. Like if we were just hoping like, oh, well, maybe he didn't hit the micro SD card and we've still got the micro SD card. Nope. He shot that too.
And you can see, the spot that the card used to be, but yeah, not there anymore. It's always fun when people come into my office and they're like, what happened here? And I'm like, oh.
And he gets to relive the story every single time.
And it seems like, at SHOT Show, you like to bring it up. And it's like this.
It's an ongoing thing. It's fun. He's legitimately the only guy who has ever shot a camera at Gun Talk. And I think that, I mean, I'm just glad it wasn't a big camera. It was a little
Yes.
one, easily replaceable, like not a big deal.
Yeah.
You know, I'm cruising around. We've got Matt Griffin from Aero Precision, and I'm cruising through. I guess we should get back on task.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Man, there's a good looking fella here on the website, and it's, you know, don't go without getting 10% off. Man, that's you. It's you, like, walking through some beautiful mountains with an AR and a backpack strapped to your back. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So I didn't know you're also a model.
Yeah. It kind of comes with the territory, I guess, you know, being like available. And when our photographer is like, hey, I want to go do something, I'm like, sure. Excuse to get out in the woods, hang out. Yeah.
So
It
what do
kind
you
of
do?
started. What was that?
What do you do over there at Aero? I think everybody's kind of like, well, okay, he's on here, but what you do?
I shoot cameras.
Yeah.
No, I'm the creative director here at Aero. I've been here like over 5 years now. Started as a designer and kind of just grew into this bigger role of managing designers and photographers and videographers. Yeah, so all the website and the magazine ads and the videos and the photos, that all runs through me and my team. So
Okay. Well, you do a great job. Arrow's always done a really good job with their content production. You see it all over the place. And kind of if a lot of so hunters all should be familiar with the AR-15 platform and what you guys do, but Aero Precision really cut its teeth on producing like builds, like for the everyday guy, like that you can do at your kitchen table, like not a lot of tools. And that's what I absolutely love about them. I think I have 4 or 5 builds, and they're Aero Precision builds. Why? Because they're easy, and I can do it and walk my way through it. But for hunters and long range PRS guys, you guys came out with something this past year at SHOT called the Solus.
Yep.
And you got to go on some awesome hunts. And I think that's kind of the direction we want to head. Is I want to talk to you about the hunts and the exploits that you got to take the Solus on. But first, let's tell them what the Solus is.
Yeah, so the Solus is it's a platform, or it's a system. So it's the heart of it is our action. So it's a tri-lug, 60-degree throw action, built-in top 20 MOA Picatinny rail, integral recoil lug. So a lot of really high-end stuff that goes into an action. And then it's a system. So we have barrels and chassis as well. For the hunting crowd, we have a super awesome carbon composite stock that we drop this into, and it gets the rifle just at, I think it's just above, I think it's like 6.9 6 pounds 9 ounces or something like that. So like an awesome weight, not something that you're going to get beat up by, but also not something that you're going to hate carrying in the backcountry. But yeah, it's our entry into the bolt gun community and space. And we took our time with it, made sure that it was right. Really built it to have this complete feature set. And so far we're seeing, hearing great things about it. So
you got to be one of the first guys to actually take this out and put us through his paces. Yeah. I've got one that just got delivered. So I'm pretty jacked about that because I'm building, I'll tell you, I think I told you what I was building. So I'm building another 6.5 Creedmoor. Imagine that. 18.5-inch barrel, 1 7.5-inch twist, Wook's stock. I went with the Wook stock just because I won it at an auction for a ridiculously cheap price that I couldn't believe I got it for. So it's going on that, but I couldn't wait to like outfit it with a Solus action because they're just so buttery smooth.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
that's a lot. I mean, the engineering team and the product team really spent a lot of time trying to figure out. I mean, we went through different renditions of polishes and different ways to finish the action, and we really, I mean, didn't compromise on any of it. And that's like one of the big things that we internally were talking about is like if we're going to come out with something for the first time in a new space, we want to make sure that it's done right. And the smoothest of an action, that's the first thing you feel when you rack that thing. So it was really important to make sure that that thing was like buttery smooth, and
yeah.
they are.
And buttery, so like so when we talk, and it's hard to tell you this over the airwaves or the video, what we talk about buttery smooth action, it's not just how the bolt comes back, it's not just how it goes forward. What it is it's the pressures that shooters put on actions during reloading. There's a lot of different angles that you can put pressure on it, because we've all picked up a gun and ran the action nice and loose, and man, it's really crisp. And then all of a sudden, you start to put a little pressure in different angles and different positions on the bolt knob, and it'll start to bind up. When we talk about buttery smooth actions, when I talk about it, that's at any angle, any pressure that you're applying to that bolt, it's coming back the same. And is that correct? A correct
Yeah.
description of it?
Yeah. I mean, you can pick up actions, and if you rack the bolt just right and it binds up, and then all of a sudden, like if you're in a situation where you need a follow-up shot, and you rack the action and you do it a little weird, or you're rushed, or your adrenaline's going, and then all of a sudden your gun's bound up and you can't chamber around, like that's a problem. And that's something that we identified. One of the product guys who's he's a shooter, ex-military, all that, he's like, this thing has to run in every time, because all the conditions are going to change for every person that's running this, and we want to make sure that we never put someone in a situation where they're trying to rack this thing fast and it binds up. So
and especially like, I mean, this is something that I could see my kids running, and when you can say that is like, because kids, they run the bolt with, a full hand on the bolt knob, and they're pushing it in. You want it to run smooth for those guys just as much as you do yourself out in the field. And that's one thing I'm really excited about with the Solus action. And it's not only actions, they've got barreled actions, and you guys are doing some barrels too. Is that right?
Yeah, Ballistic Advantage. They turn all our AR barrels for us. They have a line of barrels specifically made for Solus. So we have a competition profile barrel, and then also a fluted barrel to get some weight out of it, to make sure that, and that's in the Hunter configuration. So to make sure that
now the Ballistic Advantage barrels, I've got a 223 Wild barrel from them, and it's the fluted version, dude. 20 inches. It is a phenomenal barrel. Like, it's probably one of the more accurate 223s that I've got. And I absolutely love that. But you know what? We're going to take a real quick break right here, and listen from a word from our sponsors. But on the other side, Matt went on some hunting trips with the Solas, and I've got to hear about those. All that on the other side of this break. All right. I'm going to jump in here with a quick tip, and I'm going to be honest with you. I carry a tripod every time I go out hunting because it firmly seats my gun into place, and I don't have to worry about finding a limb, finding a T-post, finding a fence line that I have to shoot from. I have a deployable system, and one that I really like that I haven't got my hands on yet, but it looks freaking sweet, is the Vortex Switchback Carbon. It has a carbon fiber tripod with a ball head, and so it gives you a little bit of that rotation when you're making a shot, either at strict uphills or downhill elevation changes. Like, it's got it all. It is $7.99, and I know you're thinking, oh my gosh, that's a little bit for a tripod. Dude, you have one shot to make this happen. Do you not want to be as stable as possible? If the answer is yes, then 100%, $7.99 is a small price to pay for making that shot of a lifetime. Do not risk it. please don't risk it. Like it's just not worth it. So here are some of the features I'm going to rattle off for you. Has a 44-pound max payload with it, so you can put your large binoculars on it. You can put your spotting scopes and your rifles. Carbon fiber leg construction, so it's lighter weight. It's a lockable ball head, so you can really firmly seat it in place. Arca Swiss head mount. That will mount like all the popular Arca lock rails. And a lot of rifle stocks are having that. You can buy a small attachment if you don't have that's M-LOK compatible. If you have M-LOK on your rifle, very easy to do. Twist leg locks, but I'm telling you what, if you want a good tripod, check out the Vortex Switchback Carbon. Range Ready Studios. If you're looking for your next class to get better at shooting and not sucking in front of your friends, this is going to be the place to do it. Honestly, we don't care where you get training as long as it's under good trainers. Vet those trainers. Make sure they're good. We happen to have a really good one here with Mr. Chris Sereno. Yeah, 2-time second place finisher in Top Shot. Yeah, that Chris Sereno. So you could learn from the second place guy. But to be fair, he's been on Top Shot more than anybody because he just loves shooting and he's dang good at it. So if you really want an experience, come down to Louisiana, plan a long weekend trip with a family, and just sneak away for a couple of days to attend one of our training classes, because that's when you're going to get really good. Is you're going to sneak away from the family. They're going to have their time at the pool and all that good stuff down in New Orleans. You're going to come up here. You're going to get better at defending yourself and your family and showing off in front of your friends. So find out more at rangereadystudios.com. All right, we're back with Matt Griffin of Aero Precision, and he's taken the Solas out probably way more than I have. I've got to shoot it at the range. But dude, where have you been with this thing, and tell us about it?
Yeah, so I was lucky enough to, I mean, it's kind of my job. I made it my job. To
Lucky you.
Yeah, right. I'm like, how can I do cool trips and make it a work thing? So when we first launched this, one of the product guys named John, he's a big hunter, knew that I was new to it. I'd never been hunting before last year.
What?
Yeah,
that's
first
crazy.
time. It was just something that like my uncles did, and then my dad wasn't into it, so therefore I like kind of never got exposed to it. So John was like, hey, like, we need content. Let's just go get it. And I was like, all right. I mean, I don't even know what that looks like. He's like, don't worry about it. We'll do the Washington high buck hunt, and we'll, one of my friends wants to go. So it'll be 3 of us. He'll take pictures for content, and I'll just like walk you through everything. And I was like, okay, like sick.
Dude, that is awesome to hear. It's awesome that you have a mentor that's just like, hey, we got to go do it. Let's go do it.
Totally.
That's cool.
And that's one of the biggest, like, people ask me, they're like, well, like, how do you get into it or whatever? And I was like, I'm lucky because I have that friend that was just like, hey man, like, all you need to do is show up, like, and I'll just like, and I'll take care of everything else. And that was awesome because he's been hunting his whole life. And it's like one of those things that you take like great joy in, like, sharing it with other people.
Yeah. Dude, it sounds like he's just at that point. It sounds like he's at the point in his hunting career, and we all kind of go through different stages. Like, you're probably just at the stage where you're like, I just want to kill something.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of more in the, like, where John is, and it's I want to share this. I want to take people. I want to take new people. I want to introduce them to say, like, look, this is delicious food, like, all organically grown. Like, this is as all natural as it gets. So I have to ask, everyone wants to know, like, how'd the hunt go?
So it went great. It didn't go as planned, which I think is kind of like par for the course for hunting trips. We had like plan A, plan B, plan C. Plan A was a brutal like 5-mile hike just straight up a mountain to an alpine lake that we were going to make our base camp and kind of hunt out of there. So we got up with no problem. I mean, problems, but just like because
just
we were
sore feet.
Yeah, exactly. John like popped his boots off like like 2 miles in, he's like, my feet hurt so bad. Popped his boots off, just blisters everywhere. He's like, oh, I
Oh
made a mistake.
no.
I picked the wrong boots.
Oh.
But yeah, so we got up to the top of this. Like, I think we were at like 6,000 feet or something. And we just got the fog just rolled in and just like sat on top of us.
Oh no.
So we tried to wait it out, and we were there for like a day and a half, just kind of like sitting around twiddling our thumbs, and then decided that after looking at the weather that it was time for plan B. So we hiked back down, long, heavy hike in the woods with guns, and actually drove out to my wife's family has property out in central Washington,
Mhm.
and I've seen a ton of animals over there. So it's kind of like our plan B. I was like, I know there are animals out there. I know exactly where they are because like riding dirt bikes and stuff through the trails. I'm
Right.
like, oh, I've seen deer and bears. And so anyway, we went out there and hunted out of there. I think the third day we were out there, John, we just like came across a buck. John spotted him, so John took him. Um, and then we the next day we're chasing the same kind of group, and I'm like we're coming down this hill, and I like look up, and there's just a big bear just sitting there, and I was
No
like,
way.
oh, there's a bear right there. And I'm like, I had a bear tag because I knew I almost hit a bear on a dirt bike.
No
And I was like,
kidding.
I know there are bears back there. There's like a ton of them. And I'm like, oh, there's a bear. Boom, plug it. And I'm like, okay.
That,
So
that that's hunting. That's all it
that's,
is.
yeah,
Like that's
right.
it.
It's like, yeah, it was kind of silly. Like I kind of felt like I didn't put in enough work to, deserve an animal like that. But everyone that I've talked to is just like, that's kind of what happens. Like you have to
Well,
be out there, you have to be looking for them, and sometimes you just like stumble across them. And that's kind of what happened for me.
dude, it's kind of like the kid that goes out on his first hunting trip, whacks just a giant whitetail. It's like a 160, 165. And everybody goes, well, he's ruined. Well,
Yeah.
move on. I mean, now you're ruined. But no, I think the success. I think that's what we've got to look at is you had a good time, you're successful, and you're already looking at planning for this year and what you got coming up. Although you didn't draw any tags
No.
either, dude.
No.
Doesn't that suck?
Well, I was hoping that I would get to ride the coattails of Brian, because he has a bunch of points saved up, and we put in as a group for a couple out here, and
Really?
yeah, we struck out
So
there.
so how does it work in Washington? Because how I usually understand it in most states, if you go in as a group, it always defaults to the lowest ranking member.
Oh, is that it? Maybe that's
I
why we didn't get dropped.
because I think that might be what happened. Because I know in Iowa that's what happens. Because we should have drawn out this year for a archery tag in Iowa, but the guy who I put in with, his son was like, "Oh, I want to go, I want to go," and it like automatically it goes, and you're down to one, like one
Maybe
preference
I don't
point.
know. I'm very new to the whole draw process
Yeah.
and was like extremely overwhelmed by it. So I just did whatever Brian told me to do, and
Yeah.
that's just
So
what
how do you
happened.
navigate that? I mean, do you talk to Brian and just, hey, how does this
Yeah,
work? And because that's
yeah,
how I notice most people getting by is, I mean, there's all types of services out there that'll apply for you, and it'll apply for certain situations. I think Hunting Fool has one.
yep.
Maybe Onyx Hunt Stand or something like that has a process that you can walk through. But how'd that work for you with Brian? I mean, was he pretty thorough?
Yeah, so he's got a couple areas that he's been hunting his whole life, and the second trip that we did with the Solus for openings day for deer, we went over to his hometown and kind of we did his like hunt that he's done his whole life. So we put in for those areas that he knows really well. He him and his dad were like super awesome and hosted me out there for like my first, real hunting trip. And his dad really wanted to get me my first deer. So we're trying to get a good draw out there, and didn't get anything. But
did you see something? Because
we saw a bunch of stuff out there, like a lot of does that we couldn't shoot.
That's how it
It was
goes.
a bunch of we had some awesome hunts. We actually ran into a moose, which was crazy. We were like just going through this area, and all of a sudden we were like what the heck is that thing? And it just crashing through all this brush and timber. And Brian's dad was like, he like called from across the hill. He's like, "You guys are pushing a moose." And we're like, "What the heck?"
What? Please stop.
Yeah. But yeah, a bunch of does. We put some awesome hunts on does, or what ended up being does, and didn't harvest anything. So,
Dude, what? There's got to be a lot of walking spot and stalk, because I've never hunted Washington before. And to me, when I've been through there, it is thick. It's a dense forest. Like, I mean, I don't know how you guys kill anything.
Yeah. We're over in southern eastern Washington, and like right on the corner in the Blue Mountains, and there's a lot of farmland out there.
Okay.
So it's like huge draws and all these valleys, and that's super fun because you can see everything. And you come over the little crest and you're looking, and they're bedded down and you can see them pretty easily. But yeah, when you get into the big, like, dense wilderness, it's gnarly.
Dude, I can't imagine. I know, like, you may know Sean Skipper, but he always hunts out there. And my gosh, I don't know how he sees anything. Like, there's a lot of seasons, and I kind of compare it to what's going on around here is in this southern Louisiana. Like, the swamps are dense and everything else, but like I've gone seasons without like seeing a hair of a deer. Like,
that's crazy.
And that's one of the more disheartening things you could go through in a season, is to sit there for 17, 18 days and not see anything.
Yeah. Well, it was kind of funny and not funny at the same time. We were camped out for deer season, for opening day of deer season. We're there, we've got this plan, and this guy is like shows up, first thing in the morning, parks his truck like right by our camp. And so we're like, okay, plan B. And he's there every morning. Like,
really?
We were out there for a week, and every morning, and we were kind of hunting like around him and around in the same area. And we're like, okay, we're going to go do something else. Then bang, right outside of our camp. And the day we weren't there, this guy shoots this big buck that would have like walked into our camp basically. And he's like, "Yep, got it."
You gotta be kidding me.
So we're like, oh,
he knew that deer was there. He just knew it.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, that would be such a kick in the nuts.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be awful.
He was a good sport about it.
You got to give it to him. I mean, he was diligent, and he got the job done.
He's like, I sat on the same stump for 4 days and just waited.
Dude, he earned it.
Yeah. We're like, okay, because I'm not doing that. Like,
dude, that's all yours.
Yeah.
Dude, that's funny. So, all right. So you haven't shot, so you have zero deer to your name.
Yep.
You've got a black bear, which is like, dude, one of my favorite things to do is hunt black bear.
Yeah.
So the next thing you need to do is you need to come to Oklahoma to shoot your first whitetail.
Okay.
I mean, seriously, I mean, it's an over-the-counter like system. Like, so why not come out to Oklahoma? You could, dude, give me 2 days. I'll get you something good.
Okay. Tell me when.
I'll tell you when after we hang up this conversation, because I don't want everybody else to go, oh, okay, he's not going to be out there then.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we need to do something. I feel like we've been talking about doing something for. I mean,
Well, it's
Solus
been
is
a couple years. Like,
yeah.
so no, it's been 3 years since the GoPro incident, but you've been saying, because the Solus has been in production for a while, like as like far as like development and getting
Yeah.
it right. It's been in you, because you've always said like, hey, just hang on. Hey, just
Yep.
hang on. Just wait. Like it's coming. Like it's coming.
Yep.
And I'm like, what? And then you come up with that, and I'm like, oh, that
Yeah.
makes all the sense in the world. So
Yep.
now, like, the planning on your end is done. Let's just putting something on the calendar,
Yeah.
which is easy to do. I mean, I'll be there for a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks straight this year. So
Yeah.
yeah,
That'd be a sweet little work trip, I think. I think
I
we
think
have.
it'd be great for a work trip. I mean, I
Yeah.
could pick, I pick, basically, I just pick you up in Dallas. You fly into Dallas, and that's a pretty good hub,
Yeah.
you
That's
know?
I'm in.
I'm just saying. All right, he said he's in, folks. So next time you're gonna hear from Matt is gonna be from deer camp in Oklahoma. With so what? How did you outfit your Solus? Like, so your Solus gun that you carry in the field with you, how did you outfit it?
Yeah, so when we went, we didn't have the stocks that the carbon composite stocks that we have on the website right now. So
Yep.
I got a KRG X-ray chassis, the Solus action, and then I bought a Proof Research barrel 6.5 Creedmoor. Um, it's I was trying to get it light because my pack was
Yeah.
like 70 pounds, like way
Oh,
too
you're
heavy.
that guy. You take
Yeah.
everything.
Well, first time going, I brought like, the kitchen sink with me. And then when
Dude,
you're,
that's all.
when you're 4 miles in up the side of a mountain, you're like, yeah, I didn't need that.
Why did I bring this 4-person tent? Like, I
Right.
didn't need that. Dude,
Yeah.
that's funny, because I remember doing the same thing, and I hiked. I think I was 15 miles into the Alaska wilderness or something, like on a hike, going. Man, you might have seen a trail. They probably could have followed my trail easily, because I was like dumping stuff out. I'll pick that up on the way back. I don't need that. Like, it's like Hansel and Gretel leaving behind breadcrumbs. Like, that's the way I felt.
But when we made our way back down, we're like, yeah, all of us had heavy packs and the trail was like gnarly. And we're like, yeah, we're lucky we didn't kill anything up here because the hike
Yeah.
would have sucked coming down.
Yeah,
Like,
it would have really sucked.
yeah.
Dude, especially, I don't know, going down, at least you could probably kick it going down, maybe. Tenderize it a little bit on its way down. But man, I can't, like, the more, of course, it goes without saying, the lighter you go, typically the more expensive stuff is.
Yeah.
And so I start looking into all this like high tech, ultra lightweight, like hiking, camping gear and stuff like that. That stuff is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, the
Yeah.
mountaineering stuff that's lightweight, that we really should strive to carry if you're really going that far in the backcountry, is outrageously expensive. And I get no breaks on it. Like, I'm buying that as is priced.
Yeah, that we're lucky. We have a pretty solid relationship with the guys over at Stone Glacier. So
Uh-huh.
they make awesome stuff, and
They do.
they hooked us up a little bit with
Yeah,
some
their vegetables and tents are really nice. They do a really good job with that stuff, and their packs are getting better, really good.
Yeah, I think I had the R3. I had the R3 pack, and I mean it was comfortable, fit all my stuff. Relative, I think it's lightweight.
Yeah.
I haven't really.
I think a lot of folks were kind of maybe concerned is a good word to use when because Vista Outdoors bought them.
Yeah.
So they're under that big umbrella of a bigger corporation. And I think Vista has kind of let them do their thing with more assets to their disposal, which has been good for them, because previous things they've probably been like, I don't know if we can do that. But now Vista's like pumping with a little bit of equity and like letting them do their thing.
It seems like it wasn't broken, so why?
What
Yeah, why
exactly?
fix
Like
it?
this is a good thing. Don't mess it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
they were good to us, and we tend to run their stuff with their tents and their packs and their bags, and
Yeah.
uh, it's been
I don't
it's
blame you. Well, one thing I can say about their packs, they will withstand a 70-pound pack. Like they will, and if you fit the pack right, it will save your back. But man, you better have some leg workouts
right.
going on right now.
Yeah, that I was at the gym this morning and I was looking at the stair climber and I was like, not today.
Oh,
Soon though,
come on,
not today.
dude! You got mountains all around you. I'm sure. Like that. I cannot skip leg or stair mill day. Like, and that's like right now every day for me.
Oh, I need to get on it. I just hate it so much.
But it makes your hard days today make tomorrow's easier. Like that's what it always is,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. That's a good quote. You need to write that down or
Yeah.
something.
I probably heard it somewhere and it's tucked away. I can't take credit for that. That's not on me. That's on someone else for sure.
KJ, maybe.
Yeah, KJ. Yeah, that's how I'll sign it. KJ, maybe. I love it. Well, dude. So all right, we're gonna get on Oklahoma. We're gonna get that plan. We're gonna get you down. We're gonna put you on a whitetail. And I'm okay. So I'll just give you a rundown of what it's gonna be like.
Okay.
You're going to see a lot of deer, probably
Okay.
some hogs, but you're going to be able to see them from miles away. So, so there's no like peeking through pines.
Yeah. I mean, I'm down. That
All
sounds
right.
that's
Well, sweet. Well, dude, I know you got things to do, but I really do appreciate you joining us.
Of course, man. Thanks for having me anytime. I need to figure out a way to get down to Louisiana again too. It's always it's so fun when we come down there.
Yep, it is. We'll get you the full muffaletta. Like you can take
No,
on the whole
no.
challenge again.
A wise man once said, "You never go full muffaletta."
No, you never go full muff, man. Never go full muffaletta because there's no way you're going to finish it the way they raise them down here. So,
Oh man.
all right, brother. Well, we'll talk to you later. All right. Hey, all you gun talk hunters, you know the drill. Keep those muzzles pointed in a safe direction and always be on the hunt.